speaker this evening, one of my very favorite speakers. Someone I've listened to quite a few times. Someone who's been an Excel educator for 25 years, 15 as a teacher, 10 as a middle school dean. Someone who's a dear friend of mine, and someone who just knows how to motivate, and I'm impressed by it. But that's my introduction, and quite frankly, I was given an introduction by this motivating speaker himself, and I was asked to read it. So that's just the first introduction. I am about to read now his introduction. I bring you now someone to the stage. He has never won a teaching award. He was never an administrator finalist. He was never valedictorian or salutatorian in high school or college. He was runner-up twice as homecoming king, both in high school and college, but never king. He was never first team all-conference, only second team in soccer. And before he met his wife, he was dumped 2 times. I give you Ryan Winter.
So the title of tonight's message is Be a Number 2. But that's not, my intro is not really what this is about. But quickly, because I know my brother and sister are not here, but if they ever hear that I had a chance to talk about myself in sports, they would remind me, my sister is a year younger and my brother is 7 years younger. Their senior years, no lie, this is true, they were homecoming king and homecoming queen their senior year. Remember, I was running her up. And they both won a state championship during their senior years. So about every year when we get together, we have, memories, and they keep bringing up how they did these things. But I have them. I passed my driver's test the very first time. They did not. Thank you. Wow, that's good. Thank you. I'll let them know. And I got a second thing on them. I now have met Mark Cuban, and I got a picture with them. I might not be homecoming king twice, but I met Mark Cuban. All right. So be a number 2. I also took a risk with this title, Be a Number 2, working with middle schoolers. That is also not be a number 2. The reason for this title. It's this pencil that I have in front of you. And so there are 5 things, now stay with me, I know, 5 things that a pencil I want to be able to give to you as a reminder. I'm going to go through some of them very fast so I can take my time on a couple points. So here's point number 1. 2 billion pencils, I didn't know this, but Google says 2 billion pencils, number 2, are made every year. And I'm reminded, bless you, I'm reminded that they are made with and for a purpose. I need to repeat that. They are made with and for a purpose. So my very first point, whenever you see a pencil, you need to remind yourself that you have a what? Purpose. Thank you. Okay, we'll get a little more enthusiasm. You have a purpose. And I'm going to come back to this point. Now stay with me. We'll get faster. We'll keep going. Your purpose is to leave a positive mark. Your purpose is to leave a positive mark. So you're wondering, what is my purpose? And some of us out here are wondering what our purpose. It boils down to leaving a positive mark. So when I ask you what your purpose is, audience, help us out so it's not so quiet. Please answer my question. What is your purpose? Go ahead.
Leave a positive mark.
You're listening. That's good. Leave a positive mark. That's point number 1. See, we're already on to point number 2. Isn't that great? Point number 2. Sometimes we leave positive marks, sometimes we leave not positive marks. There's an eraser for that. All right, we're reminded that when we mess up, it is not the end. It is not the end. When we mess up, we got an eraser. What do you do when you make a mistake? You take responsibility, you fix it. Yes, I know, Mr. Winter, if I erase it really well, they can still see my mistake. Okay, mistakes are going to happen. It's okay, it's not the end. There's an eraser for that. 30 years ago, I graduated from high school. I know that sounds really old all of a sudden. I almost did not graduate from high school 30 years ago. Like, true story. Yeah, I know, you're still stuck on the 30. Get over that part. Go back to how I almost did not graduate. All right? a really dumb move. A couple months before graduation, some classes from my school went to, not Cedar Point, that's in Ohio. We lived in Wisconsin. We went to Great America. And as we're coming back on different buses, I had the great idea to try to impress people. Because I really wanted to know my value is to be funny and to impress people. So I did something really stupid and I moved one of the school buses. And so, yeah, I said it, I moved a bus, okay? It was not a smart idea. I did. That's fine. Go back to the 30, okay? Forget about that, but the idea. I shared that with you. It was stupid. It really was. It was bad. My dad was a teacher after school. He did talk to me eventually. There's an eraser. Now you're saying, well, wait a minute, okay, I get it. Because I'm like, sometimes my illustrations make sense in my head, and I try to like, no. You can't see it back there, but this pencil has no more eraser. I used up a lot of eraser on that dumb move. But good news, I was reminded, you know what? That's okay. There's this thing called eraser caps. All right? It's not the end. Literally, I'm serious. Now, it costs something. Now, stay with me. Don't misinterpret that. Don't go around, oh, I'm going to screw up. I can do this, whatever. Eraser, eraser, eraser. No, it costs something. It really does. But it's never the end. And I share that with you because there are times that you've already experienced and that you will experience, and you're going to go, man, this is the end. I am not good enough. I keep screwing up. Screwing up. That wasn't crying. That was breathing. I do have to get my Kleenex out just in case. All right, so the bet is not if I'm going to cry, it's about when. So that's okay. We're fine. Back to the eraser. It's never the end. Because what is your purpose? Yeah, so when you screw up, you own it, you fix it, and you keep moving forward, and you keep moving forward because you can finish your purpose. And your purpose is to leave a positive mark. That's point number 2. See, we're flying. Point number 3. How many of you have heard this? Finish this for me if you've heard it. It's what's inside that. Yeah, you've heard that too. Counts or matter. It's what's inside that counts. How many of you believe that? Couple break. All right. So here's our dilemma. You got a number 2 pencil that's made for and with a purpose. You can mess up because there's an eraser, but it's what's on the inside that counts, but hardly anybody in this room believes it. And I think I know why. Because there's these things called mechanical pencils. Now, the last couple months, I've been doing a social experiment. Sorry I didn't get your permission, parents, but it's okay. They're fine. I don't know if you remember, but okay, pencils at this time of year are a hot commodity. I find them on the ground all the time, and I just go around the hall saying, "Who wants a pencil?" And they're like, "Yeah, me." So the last couple months, no lie, I'll go at the hall, and be like, somebody's gonna remember, like, "Oh yeah, you did this to me." I would just say, "All right, who needs a pencil?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, a pencil." And guess what? It's really hard to see in the back, but one's mechanical, it's pink, it's pretty. This one is just regular. Which one do you think, going to point, which one do you think they picked? Mechanical. Yeah, you are smart, the mechanical. So here's the deal in life. It is what's on the inside that counts, but we're in a culture that has not changed. Your parents and your grandparents have had to deal with the same thing. We know it's true, we've heard it before, but we don't believe it because our culture says it's really about the outside appearance. That's the bad news. The good news is you can still overcome that and work through it because the truth is it's really what's on the inside that counts. Because here's my social experiment. I left these things empty. See, I'm an older brother. I like, hey, you know what? I might not be homecoming king, but I'm an older brother. So here's the deal. Literally, I had people do this. They gave me the pencil, they would shake it. They're like, nothing's in here. This is dumb. Okay, then they would ask for this one. I'm like, interesting. Wow, surprised. Sometimes I saw one person just like, they don't don't need it anymore. So really, you just proved to me that it's really what's on the inside that counts. The hard part is to really believe that on a daily basis, because so much attention, and you know this is a guy that's been dumped twice, so much attention has been made on the outside appearance. But at the end of the day, serious, catch this, to keep your purpose going, which is to leave a positive mark, it's really what's on the inside that counts. And one last illustration with that. A little while ago, in my young 30s, I needed to get a dental procedure. I have a small mouth, believe it or not. I really do, scientifically, physically. And they needed to break my face, my jaw. All right? I know, it sounds bad, it was. They had to break my jaw to get it spread out a little bit. I'm still not super thrilled with the teeth, but that's okay, it's about the inside. But don't lie, I meet with the surgeon, the guy that's gonna do the procedure. He's going over it, explaining it, and then he pauses and says something that I was not ready for. For $500 more, I can help you out. I was like, what? He's like, I notice you don't have a chin. And now I'm gonna pause, and I know you're looking at my chin. And those of you in the back with your cameras, you're trying to zoom in on my no chin. No lie, I'm in my young 30s, okay? So I'm not young. Well, I'm young, okay? I'm young. But I'm not old. Wait. I'm old, but I'm not that young. And this doctor's like, $500, I get you a chin. I went home. I told my wife, hey honey, what do you think about getting me a chin for $500? Well, it's already all $50 off. Literally. Why? Because I've been dumped twice. Okay, but my wife reminded me something. My wife, who is so patient. I'm serious, you know that. So patient and loving with me, that she reminded me that, man, that chin is not why she married me. She knew I didn't have a chin, okay? But she saw something on the inside. So, with our pencils, what is your purpose? Can anybody do that, by the way? Yeah. Don't say no, the answer is yes. We just don't always want to, but you can. You can. When we make mistakes, because it's gonna happen, it's not the end of you. It is never, never the end of you. You can still fix it. No matter how bad it gets, no matter what it costs, you can still fix it. The third thing is what's inside that matters or counts. The fourth thing, and I have bad news for you. But good news. The bad news is this pencil is gonna get dull eventually and not as useful to leave that positive mark. So what comes along? Pencil sharpener, yeah! Now, to you, you don't think about it, but I imagine myself as a pencil the last couple months. And I was like, if I was this inanimate object going through a pencil sharpener, ouch! Ouch! Stop, screaming. And the idea here is this, trials are coming. Sharpening is coming. Parents, do I get an amen on that one? Trials are coming. Have trials already come your way? Yeah. But these trials and these sharpenings, even at the time we don't like it, make us useful. Help us be able to leave our mark, our positive mark. So think about it. Think about the trials you've had. Down the road, if it hasn't happened yet, I guarantee you that it will come back to you to be able to use for a positive mark. So when those trials are coming, when that sharpening is happening, sometimes, man, I brought this because I'm like, man, sometimes this has been my sharpening. These things, you can't see it, but this is like one of those pencil sharpeners by hand. Have you ever used these? Do you know how long it takes to sharpen a pencil by hand? Sometimes my trials have felt like I'm in one of these things. And I'm like, this is terrible. This is terrible. But don't quit. Don't relieve yourself from the sharpening. Next year as freshmen, it's coming. I almost said fresh meat, but you're freshmen, it's coming. The sharpening is coming, but it's okay. It's going to get stronger, you stronger. You're going to be able to work through it and to fulfill your purpose. And what is your purpose?
To leave a positive mark.
Thank you. I love it when some people listen. That's good. Audience, you weren't participating on that one. Next time, all right? Next time. We're on point number 5. I hurried up so I can get to this part. You know I had to end with "you are valuable." So you're saying, but isn't that already kind of common with our purpose? How do you make that happen with a pencil? Well, I was thinking about pencils again, like I said, for the last couple months. And one of the things I noticed about pencils is this: they're used for lots of different things. And one of the things that we can struggle with in our value, and this is why I keep saying it over and over and over, because researchers say you have to repeat yourself to teenagers. So if you wonder why you're repeating yourself, that's scientific, it's good, so keep doing it. So repeat myself, and I had to remind myself too. Because there's going to be some people that you compare, and don't compare. The quote, and I can't remember who said it, but comparison is a thief of joy. The thief of joy. When you compare, you steal your own joy and your own value because you're so concerned. Because some pencils out here are going to be used to create some beautiful artwork. Beautiful artwork. And you're like, their purpose is awesome because it's beautiful art. And some of you are going to have a purpose that does math. I know, there's nothing wrong. As a math teacher, I got you. The thing is, that purpose is not any less than the other. Do you hear me? Because audience, your turn. What is our purpose?
To leave a positive mark.
And if this pencil got me, not this one, but use it as an illustration. If this pencil got me through geometry, guess what? It left a positive mark. So maybe it didn't create some kind of cool artwork and everything else, but it got me through math. Or some of you are pencils are going to be great writers, awesome writers. Other pencils are going to be used to do to-do list. And you're like, to-do list? Dissertation. To-do list? Poetry. To-do list? Something great writing. This is not equal, Mr. Winter. How can you say that a to-do list pencil is valuable? Because I'm here to tell you, did it help that person do the to-do list? The answer is yes. Because when you write it down, well, it will help the people with the to-do list. Stay with me. It's all right. It's good. It fulfilled its purpose, and the purpose was to leave a positive mark. The builders, you're like, man, they don't really use pencils. Yes, they do. They measure once, cut twice. Sorry, measure twice, cut once. They leave a mark. They leave a mark. And so the reason why we got to remember our value, it's not to be cocky, it's not to be arrogant, it's not to say I'm more valuable than anybody else, because that's not true. But when you look at a pencil, don't compare it to people's output. Don't compare it to people's output. Stick with your purpose, and that is to leave a positive mark. So, to help encourage you, this is one of my favorite parts. We're going to look at the people who are in your circle that you didn't get a chance to really see because you're too busy worrying about not messing up walking here. So front row, please stand for a moment. Can you turn around, find your people? You can actually point. And by the way, you can point back to them. You can shout their name at this point because it's all right. In conclusion, take it from a guy who's been a number 2 for a while. But he's okay with that now. To know that your purpose is to leave a positive mark. It's not about your paycheck. It's not about your job title. It's not about all that you're doing. In fact, some people have said, man, you're going to go do bigger and better things. They told that to me. I think they try to be encouraging. But I'm like, really? Am I? What if I don't? What if I do less and smaller things? Am I a loser now? And the answer is no. It's about leaving a what?
Positive mark.
Thank you, Gordon. Wherever you're at. Because that's what's important. Remembering that it's never the end. Never, never, never the end. And if you feel like it's the end, hit me up. I'll remind you. We'll purchase some more erasers. It will cost you, but we'll purchase some more erasers. Yep, you too. All of you. Thank you. It's what's inside that matters. The fourth thing is there's going to be trials in your life. It's to sharpen you. You got it. but never, ever, 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 ever forget that you are valued and loved by these people, by this person, and that's a lot. Thank you. Go